Afternoon, friends. We have something quite wonderful on the bench, and the reason it's wonderful is it's mine, and no prizes for guessing what it is or what's in there. It's obviously a Gibson Flying V. I'm going to get it out and show you properly in a second. I'm actually going to get it out right now. And I've been after one of these for a while at the right price, and one came up. It was a bit more than I wanted to pay. One second. But I managed to talk the guy down to a price I was willing to pay, and so I got it. And it's in like antique natural finish, glossed, which is the one I want. It's got burst buckle pickles, which didn't matter to me what pickles were in it. If they weren't any good, I would just swapped them anyway. But I've got it on the bench today because I've got a band rehearsal tomorrow, and I've not set it up yet. I've had it a week. But let me show you the guitar. It's a 2022 model, and it's beautiful. It's light, but that's fine. The balance is wonderful on this. There's no neck dive or anything. It's just fantastic. The balance is just right. So no problems there. Standard's got burst booker 3, burst booker 2, standard volume, tone, or whichever way they are, 3-way. Grover Kiddie Bean tuners on there, 2022 serial number on there, and a beautiful looking thing. But like I say, it's not been set up by me. It's not been checked over properly. There's a tiny ding or two in it. It's not perfect, but then again, it's fine. Frets are a little bit weeder, but again, absolutely fine. So what I'm going to do is it definitely needs a string change. These strings are tarnished and dark and dirty and a bit grubby. The stop tail piece here is not set right because the strings are pushing down onto the bridge. It means we should bring this up a little bit higher, which I am going to do. Do I have the right screwdriver for that? Yes, I do. And what we do is we're just going to loosen these a little, just bring it a little bit higher, which is what you're supposed to do. You don't want these strings touching the bridge because that's going to cause problems later on. So you want it where the strings, where the break angle, the strings do not hit the bridge at all. That's how you're supposed to set these things. So what they're touching there, they're not supposed to be. How are we doing there? Still don't have a gap there on that one. Maybe the bridge is a little bit high. I don't know. I've not checked anything proper yet. I've played it. Well, it's had some play, I can tell you. Oh, that one's a little bit off there, but that's fine. So that's where it's going to have to be, and that's a little bit not brilliant. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. There you go. Now we've got a gap. There you go. So that is where we need to be. So how I've set that is, let me show you now. You don't want the strings touching the top of the bridge here. So we have to bring this stop tail piece a little bit higher. Not so high on this side, but higher on that side. And that's fine, that's how it's supposed to be. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful thing. Nice rosewood fingerboard on there. And what we're going to do is it's got it looks like a Graphtec type knot on there. Maybe I may put a bone one on there in the future, but I'm not doing anything today. I've got a rehearsal tomorrow, so I'm just going to set it up for tomorrow. So I'm going to whiz the strings off, as you do, and give it a good setup. Check the intonation, check the pickup heights and what have you. And that's it. So I just wanted to introduce this guitar to you. It is mine. I've been after one for a while. In this colour, I wanted this, or I'd have had a cherry one also, but I needed it. I wanted one with a gloss finish. I didn't want a satin finish guitar. I'll never buy a satin finish guitar again. The one thing I did do when I was up there is I checked the truss rod was working and my neck was straight, which it was, and that was great. I'll tell you what I paid for it. It got it on eBay for £1,300. I wanted it for £1,150 and a drive up to Manchester, and it's what I got. It's what I did pay for it. £1,150. I had a drive up to Manchester. The wife and myself had a day out in Manchester. I had a lovely meal up there, had a lovely day out, and I got this guitar. And to get this guitar, I had to sell. Well, I sold my Hamer Studio, which I said I'd never ever sell. Fabulous guitar, runs rings around anything Gibson's ever made, even runs rings around this. But you know, I don't get attached to guitars. They're just bits of wood and bits of metal and they're great things, but I don't get attached. Every guitar I've ever sold that I said I wouldn't sell, every one I've sold, I've never missed any of them. And it's not that this is a better guitar than that. This is still brilliant. It's a brilliant guitar. It's just Hamer make amazing guitars. But it's my third American Hamer, and I've sold all three of them. You know, and nothing coming to guitars lasts forever. And I'm quite glad. The lad who bought it is over the moon with that. So sold that for 1,300 quid. Bought this for 1150. So I've made a little bit of money as well. That paid for my day out in Manchester. And this is a guitar I want. It's a guitar I'm going to gig with. And so I'm going to crack on, get it set up. I'll come back and give you an update in a short while. Really, really good. Been over, I've checked the frets. And remarkably, there are the two high spots on two frets, fret 13 and fret 17. Just high spots in the centre there. That is it. That's remarkable. In as much as it's very rare I get a guitar in with level frets. And certainly Gibson's in the past. And even worse than Gibson's heritage guitars I've had in. They've been terrible for level frets, but this, a Gibson, and the frets are pretty level, bar 2. I'm just gonna sort out right now, and because there's only 2, I'm going to spot level them. Spot leveling, so scooting across the lot like I do and leveling the lot, I'm going to do it this way. Now the problem with this is if you take too much material off, you'll be leveling the whole lot, because you've got to bring everyone back down to the level that the one you've just altered. So you have to be very, very careful. But what I'm going to do before I take a file to anything is I'm going to take, hallelujah, I've been looking for that thing. Need that for tomorrow, tuner. It's a Diodario Eclipse. These are brilliant tuners, by the way. If you want a clip-on tuner, get one of these. I've had this years. It's the best tuner there is out there. I just think they're absolutely brilliant. Really fantastic. But anyway, back to this. Take my fretting mallet and I'm just going to tap these frets. So what I need to do is support the fret I'm going to be hitting. And if I just show you this one, fret 13. So it's a little, so it's high in this from here to here. And I'm just going to, using the nylon end, I'm just going to tap that back in just to see if we can level it. And it's not having it. It's still a little bit high. So what I'm going to do is, this is what I always do. I take a marker or a Sharpie. Call them markers in England, the Sharpies. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark the area where it is high. And it's basically just here. And then, you've heard of measure twice, cut once, haven't you? Well, that applies here. And it's not measure twice, it's measure many more times if you must. So I'm going to be taking my flat file, my Valorb Swiss made file, which I've not cleaned. I should have cleaned it. In fact, I'll tell you what, let's clean it right now. Got a wire brush, look. Let's give it a clean before we use it, otherwise we're going to get an uneven cut. I love this file. And by, I don't know if it's by grace or just by sheer luck, but it has a perfectly flat side, which means it's great for levelling frets as well. But there you go, and that's the flat side there, perfectly flat. So what I'm going to do is, where I've marked the pen, I'm just going to, I normally tape this up. In fact, let's not create bad habits. Let's get some tape on there and do the job properly. Because I often do videos and I say I don't need to do it because I'm that good, blah 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 blah. But you know what? Let's take the fingerboard up in case we slip with a file. And we scratch, put a scratch mark in the fret, which we don't want to do. Then we're going to do it there on fret 13. That means if I slip with a file into the wood, if I go uneven, tip it that way or that way, I'll put a scratch in there. I'm not going to do it now. I'm going to do the same on the 17. You know, just in case. Because it's a bit wider than that. Probably not the best. That one should just fit in there. It does, just fits in that slot, just. That one, I'm going to go 2 bits of thin. Just so, just in case, let's not be big-headed about this. So what I'm going to do is, just in this area, and we'll check again. And I'm just going to file that area. Now the reason I put the tape there is in case I slip with the file and I'm liable to cut into the rosewood, and I don't want to do that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the radius. I'm going to let the file find the radius. It'll find it. People say you need to, this comes with experience. Now some people are just natural at doing this, and I happen to be one of those people that just naturally came into this line of work. I've never trained at it. Obviously I'm self-taught, but I was just able to do it. And I'm not bragging. It's all down to the Lord and the way He made me, I believe. But there you go. And look at that. Because I've followed that radius and because I believe that the Lord is guiding my hands, that is perfectly level. And I'm just going to check back a fret to make sure we've not gone too far, and we haven't. And that's perfect. So that one is done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I don't even need my Z file from StuMac. I'm just going to take my crowning file, which is a StuMac file, and we're just going to give it a quick wipe. And there you go. And that's already got the convex cut in there. So it's that way. It's a diamond file, and this will just round it off where it's flat a bit on the top. We're just going to round it off. And that's that one done. And we're going to need to polish it, but that is a levelled and reclined fret. And I'd have thought these frets have been a bit wimpy for me. They're about only just over 2 mm wide. We've got a little high spot on the one next to it. It does happen sometimes if you remove material from one. So I'm just going to totally by hand just follow that over, do that a quick rub, give it a quick scoot with this one here. And I think you'll find that we've just sorted that one out, and we have, and that's fine. So we're going to do exactly the same on the 17th fret. We're going to clean the file, as you do, clean this file. See? Always clean the files between frets, and we are going to check this one. So let's have a look, see where we are. So pretty much all the way across, so from within 5 mm of this side, and about 9 mm on this side. So that's where we're high. And again, check. What I've not done is I've not tried to tap that one in. I can't go any further with that, so I'm just going to give it a tap. I don't trust tapping them in because they're liable to just go back to the position they were in a bit later on. So I'm quite happy to, once I've tapped them in, to check them again, leave them 5 minutes. It's still high. And I'm quite happy to, you know, go at them with a file, because I think they're going to, if you tap them down, they're going to spring back up anyway. I always find that. You could, if you wanted to, bead some super glue in there and just hold it in so it doesn't move again later on. I don't think, in my experience, it's not necessary. But let's just find the radius, and again, I'm just going to find the radius with this. I'm going to trust my skill. I'm going to trust that I'm being guided. You know I'm a Christian. I trust my Lord and Saviour Jesus Christ. It's where my skills come from, and I wholeheartedly believe that. And if you're not a Christian or you don't follow any kind of religion, I would say it behooves you to go and find out where you are from, you know, and how you are here on this earth and why you're here on this earth, and go and find out, and don't listen to everything you've been told. And look at the evidence, because I'm a Christian because of the evidence, and the evidence is there. And if you seek, you will find. If you're honest with God and ask Him to come into your life, say, if you're real God, show me you are Jesus Christ, show me who you are, and He will give you His Holy Spirit, and He will give you His wisdom and His knowledge and His guidance. You know, and that's all I can tell you. I can't make anyone believe. You've got to go and find out for yourself, like I did, like my wife did. You know, and I can never change the way I am now because of our Lord and Saviour Jesus Christ. And go and find out, ask questions, because now I'm going to heaven and I'd love to see you there. Anyway, back to where we are. I've just checked that fret and it is level with the ones behind it. Now this one's a little bit high because I'll actually take some material from there, so I'm just going to give that one a little scoot. That one's still high. Like I said, it's sprung back. That looks here as well. That's saying level now. That's also level. And check the one next to it. And that's level, so we are there. So again, just need to wipe the file down, and I'm going to do all three of these. Just give it a little scoop. And that should be the all. Oh, there you go, look. That's why we always wipe the file. So we're going to check the frets again. What have I done with my fret rocker? I'm brought to iron it. So going one back from 13, so I'll go down to 12, that's fine. 13's now fine, 14's fine, 15's fine, 16's fine, 17 is fine, and if we move up to 18, and if that's fine, we have all of the frets at our level. We know these are all level anyway. A little bit of a high spot there. Again, just wipe the file, give it a little scoop. We are talking ounce of a millimetre here. So that's as much as I need to do, and that is now level. We'll give it a go with this file. And that is the frets are all level. We can remove the tape. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to the next part of the job, which is we're going to spray the fingerboard with some mineral oil, which you know is lemon oil. We're going to treat the fingerboard, give it a little bit of a clean. What I need to do is make sure I have something under the guitar, because I don't want to. What I do is on my yoga mat work surface is I put this paper on it. It's a big roll of paper. I made the mat the same width as the paper, just so I can, when it gets too dirty, I can just whip it off and put some fresh on there for the next guitar. So we're going to move these tools out of the way. That's enough there. Move my phone out of the way. Because I'm going to be spraying the fingerboard, I don't want the oil to get all over the mat underneath. So, old tea towels, many old tea towels. My wife doesn't like these. I love the old traditional tea towels like this, like I used to get in school. And that's it, that's where we are. Here's one I've already used, which has already had oil on it, so I'm just going to put it there. And I've got an old receipt there that's doing nothing in particular. I can just stick that there. Some tape on that. Just to protect that part of the guitar. I've got some, here you go, lemon oil. You know it has. It's mineral oil. We've got some lemon essence in, lemon, whatever in there, just to give it a nice smell. I'll rub that in. It's not the best quality rosewood, this fingerboard. It feels a little bit rough, feel like it's not been sanded smooth. It's not like the older stuff you used to get that was, you know, really, really smooth. It feels a little bit more like it's done with 200 grit than 400 grit, if you know what I mean. It feels a little bit unfinished. Surprised it's not got a bone nut on it. I may put a bone nut on at a later date. when I tend to go bone nuts myself nowadays. I was using the Graphtec Tusk and new bone stuff, you know, the non-thingy version, not real bone, like the synthetic version. But there's something about bone, I don't know what it is. And I tend to install bone nuts on my own guitars, and many of my clients now. But they do cost more. It costs more to, I charge £65 for installing a bone nut on something like a Gibson or any kind of Gibson type PRS guitar, whatever. Your Strats charge about 50, I think. But it's a lot of work carving a nut from a blank. I think it's quite reasonable. But if people want it, they're going to pay the money, aren't they? Right, what is that there? I still need that receipt. I posted that the other day. It's one of my clients. So I'm going to let that soak in for a short while. We'll come back. In fact, while that's doing, I'll polish the frets. And what I need to do is tape up the pickles because I'll be using some steel wool shortly. So what I've got in here. Fingerboard should be in there. Yeah, they are. Fingerboard claws, should I say. There they are. That sits over, protects the fingerboard. Maybe I will go with a, rather than using steel wool, maybe I'll go with a rubber. I've got polishing rubbers. I'm not a big fan of polishing rubbers myself. I've got a super fine one there, but let's go with a fine one. I think in this instance, because the frets aren't that bad, I will go with a polishing rubber. And these are from Crimson Guitars? Crimson Guitars they're from. It's a polishing rubber. And I don't think I'm going to need a fret guard. And this, straight over the top. Oh, that's going to come quite nice actually. So yeah, we'll go with the polishing rubber today. I'll be sticking a set of Diodario 10s on here. My choice of strings. I'm not going to be down tuning or anything. Playing in standard tuning with the band I'm in at the moment. I'm not letting anyone know the band I'm in at the moment. For a band I used to watch as a teenager before I started my own band, and they inspired me to start my own band. So that may give some people some idea of who the band is, but no one knows we'll reform yet. A band from the 80s. And we're not going to tell anyone any news until we're ready to gig. We are just about ready to gig. It's while we're rehearsing in the studio tomorrow. So more news on that later. So yeah, polishing rubbers. What don't I like about them? I don't know. If you don't know, I polish frets with 7 grits of paper going up 400 through to 2000. It's the way I've always done it, and it takes longer. And it's hard work, but I like the results. Now this oil, where I can see it soaking in, there's a lot of smeg and crap on this fingerboard, which I'm probably going to have to scrape the fingerboard, I think. Something else I've got to do for tomorrow, I'm building a pedal board. I've got no cables wired up, I've got to solder some cables up later. So busy day, busy Saturday for me. Obviously you can see I've got Raw Mail shirt on. I worked at Raw Mail today. I'm working 6 days at Raw Mail, working every day of the week now. Just Sundays off. So my time in here is limited. And it's very, very rare I get to work on my own guitars. But because of that, I'm getting less fret frame work done, which is a shame really, because I can make more money doing fret frame than I can at Raw Mail, but I love my job at Raw Mail. So there you go. I've given them a polish with a polishing rubber. That's what I'm going to go with today. It means I've not got to take the pickups up. Looking forward to playing this guitar tomorrow. First time at rehearsal with this guitar. I normally play the SG again, another guitar which is fabulous. But it's not a Gibson SG either, it is an Epiphone, and I have a really good one. I have a G400 Pro, and it's got binding. It's an old one from 2002. I didn't know it had binding until after I bought it, which was a great bonus, quite rare. The early ones, very rare to find an early one with binding, unless you get the Pro or the Vintage. I didn't know, and I didn't pay a lot of money for it at all, which is obviously a bonus. So I think I'm going to scrape Fingerboard because it is quite mucky, quite yucky. I should have a Stanley blade knocking about, so we're on another bench. Is it in the pack? It is not in the pack, which means it's out. If it's out, I'm probably not going to find it. Well, that's a shame, isn't it? Bear with me, guys. I do like to keep the tape running rather than just stop starting. It's continuity, you see. Nothing's being hidden. You're seeing everything as it is. And that's the way I like to do my videos. Okay, so the blade is not on there, which means, I don't know what it means. It means it's not on there. There you go. I wonder, get my phone on charge, stick that up there. That's good. Okay. Well, it won't be lost, it'll be out somewhere. It's laying about on the bench. It isn't, so let's get my tools off. Maybe if I put some tools away, let's see what I So that's just my wife talking, we'll just ignore her for a minute. In fact, I'll stop the video, back soon, guys. Decided not to go the Stanley blade route. I'm just going to use this cloth here and just rub everything off. Yeah, the rosewood on this is not the best quality rosewood. It's got quite a rough finish to it. It's not smooth like they used to be in the old days. I've had some fantastic old Squires in this workshop with the best rosewood fingerboards you've ever seen. And getting back to my hammer, I've never seen such a beautiful piece of rosewood on a neck as I have on that hammer I just sold. Got beautiful, beautiful stripes and lines running through it. It was just fabulous. But this stuff is not the same. It's almost very, very dry, and it's very rough feeling. It's a little bit disappointing. Look at that crack coming off the fingerboard, look. So I'm here to give this another coating of oil. But the frets look wonderful. Look at those. And what I love about this guitar is, I mean, it's a 2022 model, it looks fantastic. It has the odd tiny ding in it. Some of the lacquer is a little bit dull in areas, but that means it's been played. And this guitar is going to get played, so I don't mind it having a little bit of wear. I bought this guitar to play it, and it's not the best fee I could have got. There's no binding on my neck or anything. I could have got one of the special run 2016, 2017 ones, which has been brilliant. And maybe I'll get another, I don't know. Because when I move to Canada later in this year, I will be starting a band in Canada. Look at that for fingerboards, but look at that. That is beautiful. The nut, like I say, it's not bone. It's a man-made derivative of bone. One thing I wanted to mention, a little bit inside here. Let's see if I can get you to see it here. Inside here, look, where the paint, there's no paint on there. Just inside there. I can touch that up with a marker, that's fine. But, you know, I'd like to see a little bit of paint rolled over there. Stick that back on as it should be. Aluminium stop toe piece, I believe aluminium bridge. I would not make them out of aluminium. I'd go steel all the way for me, but that's just me. Bit picky like that. Anyway, where were we? So I'm almost ready for stringing this. Oh yeah, I was going to get the marker out, wasn't I? And that truss rod area inside here. Sharpie. And there are a little bit of flaky paint on top of the nut as well, the adjuster nut, which again I think is a little bit shoddy. That's blackened that area off it up. I mean, no great shakes. I mean, you know, it's not a deal killer, is it? But there you go. That's quite nice now. So yeah, good fun, wonderful guitar. So what I'm going to do off camera is I'm going to restring it. I'm going to check the nut slots. Quite happy with the nut slots, how they are. I've not had the scratch plate off, not looked under there. Not too fussed about that just yet. Something I can do another day and have a good tinker around in there. But I'm going to get some strings on, check the nut slots, see if they need sorting out, check the intonation, and that more or less is it. So I'm going to stop the video for now. I'm going to get those things done offline or off camera, and I'll come back and I'll show you the finished result and what I think, give you my thoughts on what I think of the guitar. So I'm not going to get away with leaving the nut slots as they are because the strings are far too high above the first fret, but I'm not cutting the nut slots yet. What I'm doing is I'm just stretching the strings in. I'll just put them on, set of D'Addario 1046s. We're just stretching the strings in just to get it basically to concert pitch with the strings stretched in, which will give you an idea of how much relief I need to set in the neck. Give them a couple of goes. I do have my SG already set up. If this goes out of tune or anything tomorrow, I'll be fine. Frets are looking really good, fingerboard's looking really good now. Pickups are fine. I've not tried them properly. I mean, I've plugged my guitar in, played it a fair bit and enjoyed it, but I've not given it a proper run out yet and really got into how the pickups feel when they play. But if I ever need to change anything, I've got some lovely pickups here to put in there. I've got a Seymour Duncan 59 there, Zebra, and I've got a bare knuckle Juggernaut which I took out of my Hamer. If I need to put new pickups in, I can stick these in or I can sell them on, whatever. That Juggernaut sounds really good, but these pickups sound alright so far. So I'll give them a run out tomorrow, see what I think. I'm not using my amp tomorrow, my Black Star Stage 100. There's a Randall amp there, it's a combo. Now I like Randall amps, they're a hybrid. They've got a MOSFET gain stage and we have a tube in the preamp, and I've always liked them with an overdrive in front there. Going to get a great sound out of it anyway, but I'm taking a pedal board anyway, and I've got my Victory V4 Kraken preamp pedal if I need it. I've also got a Metal Muff Nano, which I like, and I've got the pedal board. But hopefully I'm just going to use the amp with an overdrive in front just to boost it. We'll see how we go on. Use amp reverb. I've got a couple of nice pedals. I've got my EVH Phase 90. And I've got a wonderful TC Electronics flanger, and I've got my TC Electronic Flashback X4 delay. That's really the only effects I use, and I may not use them all. So we're tuned to pitch, just about. We're very, very close to pitch. The reason I've left it a little bit, tiny bit flat, is because when I pick the guitar up, we're going to sharpen anyway. I'm going to set the intonation and everything. I'm probably going to do it all off camera. You can see how much relief I've got in there. I can tell straight away I've got too much relief. So we're going to give a turn of the truss rod. I'm probably going to need a little bit more than that. That should do enough. So about half a turn there. Let's see what I think. Okay, that looks pretty close to where I'd like it to be. Feel a gauge about 0.25 around about the 6th fret would be good for me. Maybe a little bit less, 0.2, but let's give it a go, 0.25 and see where we are. Oh, 0.2 there, look. 0.2 millimetres between the 5th and 7th frets there. Tiny, just a little bit more. So I'm going to go this much, watch. Just going to give it, that's all you need. Quite a straight, a bit of relief in there. Go to 7th fret. Well, that was pretty good. See what I think with a bit of a light behind it. Not really told we had that on there, we're not straight edge, am I? I should have a light behind it really. But let's get a piece of white paper and see what I think. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Quite happy where that is. So let's check the tuning again. Got a stroke tuner down there. Got a Korg, it's a rack tuner, I've had it a while. It's a Korg DTR 1000 Pro. Nice piece of kit, paid over the odds for it, paid more than market value. But it's a great piece of kit. I do love Korg tuners, I've got a couple of them. I've got a small pocket one as well. So we're in tune as it's laying flat on the bench. I've got the action where I want it to be. Well, I've got the relief where I want it to be. Not checked the action. Quick look at the action now. Normally about 1.75 mil on the bass side is good for me. And about 1.5 on the treble side. This is at the 12th fret. Let's see where we are. Well, 1.5 on the bass side. 1.5 on the treble. You know what? That'll do. Feels pretty good. Just have a look at the height above the first fret. See, we're a little bit high there. So we're going to do a measure now above the first fret. And basically, I'm doing a live setup for you guys right now. Let's have a quick measure again. So, just measurements. This side, top and fret to the bottom of the string on the bass side, 0.3 mil. On the treble side, 0.2 mil. They're nice guidelines. You can go lower. You can go quite a bit lower, but they're good enough to keep you in tune. Even when you bar an F or an F sharp or a G chord, you're not going to go sharp. So the kind of measurements I kind of like. It's like a fail-safe type of affair. But we'll give it a measurement. 0.3 on the bass side. See where we are. And I'm saying this is going to be quite a bit high, and that is quite a bit high. It's probably going to be near 0.5. The A string's pretty close. The D string's fine. So the low E we need to change. Let's go 0.25. And this is how you normally test. So the low E is too high. The A is just buzzing. The D is too high. Low E is fine. B is too high. And the G is too high. So I do need to cut these slots. I'm going to do it off camera. It's really easy. Just get the corresponding file for the string size. So we're going to need, we've got a 26, we've got a 46, we've got a 36, 26 is a 28 by the way. We've got a 10, got a 16 which we'll use on the 17, which is the G string, and we have got a 13. I may as well show. I'm going to show you one. I'm going to do the rest off camera. So it's my Hosco 11 set. Great piece of kit. This cost me about 130 quid. Really good files. Keep them clean and will last you years. So here's a 46.046 of an inch. Just keep the file clean. I do wire brush these files quite regularly. So we're going to have a measure. See, that's really quite high. So we're going to remove the string. We're going to take the file and holding it straight above the fret so you don't scratch into the frets, and it's just a few strokes, then a couple downwards just to finish off. Now these files will cut the perfect U shape, perfect semicircle. Then all we're going to do is we're going to place the string back in the slot, and measure. And that's it, that's that one done. How good is that? Stretch the string back in. Check the intonation. That's fine. So that one is done. We'll clean the file. Move on to the next one, which will be the 36. So I'll put this file away. So there you go, it's that simple. But never go gung-ho with your files, because if you cut too deep, you'll be replacing the whole nut. You've got to cut that one out, reshape a new one, put it in and shape it all, and it's going to take you time, it's going to cost you money. So again with the next one. Quite happy where that one is. That's already buzzing. Let's have a look at the D. That is a little bit too high, so we're going to take the 0.28, which is closest to a 2.6 we've got. Do exactly the same, just cut in, don't go mental. That's 2, and just a couple for the fall off just there, and just cut in, keep it nice and clean. So straight away that's low enough. Intonation. A bit sharp on the A string, so we're going to move this saddle away from the neck, or more towards the body, and because we're sharp on the 12th fret, I need a flat blade screwdriver, which I do have one somewhere. What have I done with it? I'll put it somewhere, it's not there. Okay, we'll take the string back toolkit out. That's why I bought this piece of kit. Stuff about this is magnetic. So we need to move the saddle away. Well, how do I know that? If you're sharp at the 12th fret, you move the saddle to the right. Sharp and right 5 letters. If you're flat at the 12th fret, you move it to the left. And left and flat are both 4 letters. So I'm going to bring the saddle toward me. There you go, just a couple of goes, a couple of turns. I've done the wrong string, I just did the D there, I thought the D was right, but we'll have a look. That's all good. G's fine. be as sharp, so we're just going to, that should be enough. No, he's really sharp, but I think this slot is well too high on that one. But we're going to, a few good turns on that E, that's well sharp. That's it, that's the intonation all done. Just need to do the last couple of slots. I might as well leave the camera running, aren't I? And once these slots are done, mate, this guitar is set up and ready. So let me just look at the top 3 strings. The G is really stupidly high. So we're going to clean this file, put this one away. We're going to concentrate on the top 3 strings. So we don't have a 17, we do have a 16, which is a little bit thinner. So what we do to compensate to what it was, we just flare open. What's this? We flare it, so we just go in at an angle that way, in at an angle that way, and we just widen that slot. So we've just gone, instead of going straight, we've gone a little bit left and a little bit right, just to widen it up just that little bit, so it doesn't pinch the string. And there you go. And that's low enough. I've actually gone a little bit too low, but that's very, very close to the fret. But perfect. I will probably put a bow nut on this anyway, so even though I've gone a little bit close down there, I've still got enough gap there, it's not going to ring out. I mean, we could go down to 0.1, and that's probably about 0.18. But like I say, take your time with these files because they're really sharp. Oh, I've gone wrong end up. Really sharp, so a couple of strokes and you've got to cut really deep. So we'll check the 13. Let's check that. The 10's fine, it's just a 13 now. The 10 we're not even going to touch. We'll get the 13, a couple of strokes. And I'm able to tell by eye if this is right or not, and that's right. Just need to clear that hole up a bit because I didn't cut down, so we're just going to go. I'm going to cut down a little. And that is the nut slots all cut. I don't even need to touch the 10, I can see how low it is. And that's it, that was the guitar intonated, we're set up, we've got the right amount of relief, right height on the 12th fret, got the intonation all done, we've got the nut slots cut. All I need to do now is tune it in. And we're ready for kicking. And that is all done and ready for tomorrow's rehearsal.